A bloody beginning. A violent prologue announced by a flowing red curtain. The wrath of strangers made me sick to my stomach. Feet stirred dark puddles. The air tasted like iron. Their heads, someone cried. Anger hidden in the shadows. Thousands of cries from a single throat. Here was a beast with hundreds of claws and teeth. A kicked, abused, and physically wounded soul. Their heads! What a cold and urgent order. The beast's eyes showed a long-disguised bitterness, yesterday's envy. It has waited too long to show mercy now. Too long covering its ears while others laughed at its inadequacies and feebleness. The beast's bark was filled with 1,000 smiles of those who worship this bloody morning. The day when their enemies will perish. Their brothers.
Well, that was interesting. Right, so, before the court stands Claude Garnier, a resident of Paris and a baker's apprentice arrested for robbery. He led a group of people who broke into the house of citizen Dominique Fournier, a wealthy man. According to Fournier's testimony, the robbers insulted him and then began beating him. At the same time, Claude Garnier told his accomplices which expensive belongings should be taken, and the group left the battered Fournier lying on the floor. Many witnesses saw the whole incident. Fournier's servant saw present during the events, while some passers-by looked through the windows. Garnier not only admitted to leading the group, but he actually boasted about it, calling it a revolutionary deed, which he was proud of. He supposedly found out that Fournier is funding counter-revolutionary leaflets and decided to relieve him of his funds. Now that's interesting. The accused would not reveal the source of that information. He handed the guards a lampoon of Robespierre, claiming that he had found a thick pile of them in the victim's house. Garnier claimed to be having burned all but one, which he kept as evidence. When the guards arrested him, they noticed a gold signet ring on his finger that belonged to citizen Fournier. Garnier often takes a stand during the gatherings of the enrages, demanding that all wealthy people be hanged. In the year 1789, he took part in the storming of the Bastille. So Dominique Fournier is a financier, a well-known fact that he was a strong supporter of the finance minister Necker right to the end of his career. We have established and confirmed with many people that he followed the Girondins, although he has not taken an active role in public life in recent years. It's also a fact that after the robbery, Fournier's house was thoroughly searched and no counter-revolutionary materials were found. Whoa. So Fournier's servant was a witness. Assaulting the victim is the accusation, as is a break-in. A lampoon is evidence. Signet ring, evidence. Financier is extenuating circumstances, no. Ah, that's the trap. Freeing of the Bastille prisoners, that's definitely that. And funding leaflets is the motive. Righty-ho. Let's get started. Please introduce yourself. My name is Claude Garnier. You are accused of breaking into the house of citizen Fournier, whom you then brutally assaulted and robbed. I led an investigation of his house. Vive la Revolution. Who gave you that information? The people of Paris did. Call in the witness, the victim's servant, Gatian Calvet. Do you work for the victim? Yes, Monsieur le Judge, that's right. Did you see the attack? I saw everything. They beat him, hitting him and kicking. May I finish to this sentence? Then one of them wanted to hit him with a wooden bat. I started screaming, and you know what the thug did? He started laughing. He found it awfully funny. Did you see the defendant among the assailants? He conducted them like an orchestra. First the strings, snip, then the percussion, bam. Enough with the metaphor. Did you really take part in the storming of the Bastille? I did. What was your experience helpful? The only thing missing was Delaunay's head raised on a pike. That's another difference. I wasn't arrested for doing it. Everyone knew that what we were doing was the right thing. The Bastille was a fortress. We are talking about breaking into a house of an unarmed man. That is why we are having doubts. There's not many questions here, is there? Why would you think that the victim had anything to do with counter-revolutionary activity? Ask anyone on the street, they all knew about it. Only no one had proof, and we were tired of waiting. How did they know? Did the rats talk to them? Well, they must know that people always know what's going on. So you decided to find evidence of Fournier's guilt. Whenever someone's suspected of a crime, there's an investigation, no? We decided to do one. Do I understand correctly that you assaulted Citizen Fournier because of some rumours? Monsieur le Judge, are you implying that Parisians are liars? I'm the one who asks questions here, not you. You are saying that the whole deed was supposed to serve the ideals of the revolution. Have Robespierre or Danton ever encouraged their followers to become robbers? Not robbers, no. Soldiers of the revolution. I confiscated goods that were serving a rotten cause. If I wasn't arrested, I'd have handed everything to the authorities. You did not do so immediately after the robbery. I think we had the right to celebrate, avenging all the wrongs we had to suffer. And what wrongs did you have in mind? My whole life I worked my fingers to the bone while Fournier and others like him was sat around getting fatter. After you were arrested, you handed the guards a slanderous leaflet about Citizen Robespierre. I found it in the Royalist pig's house. There were scores of them there, and we burned them all in the street. You did not burn that one. I saved it just in case. How can we be sure it belonged to Fournier? Where else would I find it? Tell us exactly where you found it. You have piles of these leaflets in a recess there. Why did you not go to the guard with the leaflet at once? Why would I? With evidence like that, you could be sure the accused would be the guillotine. You were found with a gold signet, citizen. I have the reason to believe that it belonged to the victim, am I right? Why do you keep calling him a victim? He's a rich traitor. The true victims are the people of France. You know that we're talking about him. We will take care of him in due course. Now, what about that signet? Ah, the signet. Nice, isn't it? Those swines got fat off our hard work, and they refuse to give us a tiny part of their wealth, not even the tiniest. What did you plan to do with it? Nothing. It looked nice on my finger, much better than on that peg. The signet was not the only thing you took, was it? I heard the house was stripped of everything precious. I was especially fond of those gold-plated candlesticks. Citizen Fournier was severely beaten. He could have avoided it, yes. I punched him once or twice, but only because he squealed like a pig. Are you proud of yourself? He got what he deserved. He kept squealing when you were turning his place over. He was plotting against decent Parisians, isn't that enough? I've heard all I need to hear. Arrogant cock, using things for his own self-virtue. He's going to prison. Okay. In a way, yes. Was his act counter-revolutionary? No. Which political group does the defendant sympathise with? That I actually don't know. Girondins. Is it that one? I'll go with that one. What made the defendant famous in the eyes of the people? Storming of the Bastille. Elementary. I sentenced Citizen Claude Garnier to prison. Lead the condemned out. Oh, got him all right. Fucking spot on. My name is Jean-Marie Roland. My name... Shod? That's a spelling error, not to be unknown to you. After all, you wiped your shoes on it during the King Louis trial. Citizen Capet, not King. King Louis Auguste Bourbon, Duc de Berry. Thanks to your flinging around half-truths and speculation, everyone is calling for my head, accusing me of corruption and treason, while you used our backs as a stepladder on your way up the social hierarchy. Corrupting politicians does not always work out. Danton does it. Maleville tried to, but they caught you. Happens. I will probably be dismissed from my station. I may even end up in the guillotine, but I will make sure your head rolls right after mine. You will be my comrade in misery. Threatening a judge of the tribunal is even a worse idea than supporting the despised king and corrupting politicians of the convention. I will get rid of your candidate for captain of the guard, then I'll go after you. You took me and my wife too long to get to where we are. I will not die because of some overboozed maggot that likes to call himself a judge. You will see how we wage war in Paris's salons, you treacherous mongrel. Wow, what a bitch. So, dear comrade, I've heard news of Minister Roland's unexpected visit. I have to confess that Roland knows about me something that I should not have. I am certain he is already weaving an intrigue against us. We have to start working one against him. Francois Handriot. So, that's where I'm going to call an end to this video, guys. It's been certainly an interesting day doing all these videos, and of course they'll be rolled out possibly one every day or maybe one every 2 days. Obviously depends on my work schedule. But as always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, flick that bell end button and help us get to 1,000 subscribers. Catch you at the next video.